Hey, greetings, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, and welcome to the Steadfast and Loyal program.
You gotta light 'em up before they burn it down. Better dig deep, put 'em in the ground. Blood on their hands, they're hellbound. Save us all. Ooh, they're gonna burn it down. Save us all before they burn it down.
Hey folks, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West here at Watchtower Firearms. This is the custom design AR-15 that was just made for me. It's got my Steadfast and Loyal logo there. On this side, you can see my signature, my master parachutist wings, of course, American flag. And I just want to tell you that you can't be a great American unless you have a great American weapon. And that's exactly what Watchtower Firearms is building. Great American weapons, all American parts, manufactured right here in the great state of Texas. And oh, by the way, let me see, where is the serial number on this one? TX1836. If you're from Texas, I think you know what that means. God bless you. God bless Watchtower.
Hit, dead center. Yes.
Hey, welcome back to the Steadfast and Loyal program. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West here. Getting ready to head over to Normandy, to France, for the 80th anniversary commemorative day of D-Day, the greatest invasion that the world has ever known. And the sad thing is that I am sure there's going to be a lot of hoopla, a lot of dignitaries there, because it's the 80th anniversary. I want you to think about it. A lot of those young men, they're not with us today. But back then, these young men would go out and lie about their age so that they could go out and fight for this nation. That's the level of commitment that they had to stand and to fight against evil. But when you think about our young people today, and I've shared this in a couple of other, posts and some podcast monologues, 18 to 24-year-olds in the United States of America. There are those that believe that they should be out there talking about genocide of the Jewish people as part of a freedom of speech. There are those that believe that this Jewish state, the state of Israel, should just go away. We should just give it over to the people that are basically terrorists. Imagine what it was like for those young men 80 some odd years ago when they walked in and they saw those concentration camps, when they walked in and they saw those death camps. I mean, I don't know how many of you all took the time over Memorial Day to watch the Band of Brothers episodes, the miniseries from HBO. There was one episode dedicated toward that, when the men of the 101st Airborne Division stumbled upon one of those concentration camps. 6 million people of Jewish origin were killed because they were Jewish. And 80 years ago, we had young men, American young men, that fought against that evil and uncovered that evil. And I remember the quote that came from General Eisenhower that said, we must take pictures, we must document this, because one day the world will never believe that it happened. And here we are 80 years later, and we have those deniers of the Holocaust. But even worse, we have people here in the United States of America that are going around shouting death to America, death to Israel. We have people here in the United States of America that are talking about intifada. We have people here in the United States of America that are talking about putting Jewish people in ovens and thinking that's free speech. When 80 years ago, we saw that evil, we saw that outcome, we were committed to never allowing that to happen again. Now all of a sudden, we got our young people that are going out there, our young people that would not want to go out and lie about their age to join our United States military. But now they want to hit the streets, talking about from the river to the sea. And I don't know if some of you all have seen the video, but they've been asked from what river to what sea. And these chuckleheads can't even answer. But the young men who jumped into Normandy, they could tell you what their mission was. They could tell you why they were there. The young men who hit the beaches of Omaha in Utah in the 1st Infantry Division, the 4th Infantry Division, the 29th Infantry Divisions, they can tell you what their mission was, what their task and their purpose was. Those Rangers who scaled the cliffs of Pont du Hoc, they can tell you what their mission was, what their task and purpose was. But our young people here are now shouting things in the streets. They have no clue what they're saying. We have monuments to brave men, like the World War I monument. You know, the United States Marines, they earned that nickname Devil Dog from Belleau Wood, World War I. The United States 3rd Infantry Division earned the nickname Rock of the Marne from World War I. But yet we have young people that are going out and desecrating a World War I memorial with the terrorist flag of Hamas. That's what it is. I don't care what you say. Hamas, who has in its charter the exact same thing that Nazi Germany sought to do with this quote unquote final solution of exterminating the Jewish people. That's what Hamas says they want to do in its charter today, in 2024. The Nazi Germans put Jewish people in ovens. Hamas, October the 7th of 2023, put little Jewish babies in ovens. And we're supposed to believe that's okay? Can you imagine 80 years ago being a member of the United States House of Representatives and standing up and advocating for the Nazis or the Italian fascists or Emperor Tojo and Imperial Japan? But yet today, that's what we have. The United States representative out there pushing the propaganda of a terrorist organization that seeks to do the exact same thing to the Jewish people that the Nazi Germans did to the Jewish people 80 years ago. See, I think it was George Santayana, I believe, Spanish political philosopher, who said, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And I'll be damned. Look at where we are today. 80 years later. Maybe it's a good thing that some of those men who jumped in to those drop zones 80 years ago, they aren't allowed to see what's going on, because I know it's tearing the heart out of those who are still alive. And speaking of which, if you do take the chance to look at the Band of Brothers miniseries, there are no survivors from Easy Company, 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment anymore. They're all gone, all passed. How many of you took the time on Memorial Day to watch that? How many of you took the time to sit down with your kids and you know, okay, you can have a little barbecue, I got it. You can go to the lake, I got it. You can go out and participate in some Memorial Day sales, but that's not what Memorial Day was about. Memorial Day was about remembering those who made the last full measure of devotion. And you're supposed to give increased devotion to those who gave the last full measure of devotion. That's what Abraham Lincoln talked about in the Gettysburg Address. 272 words. How many of y'all took less than 3 minutes to read the Gettysburg Address? 10 of the members of your family. See, that's how we get to the point where we once had a generation that would lie about their age to go and fight for the United States of America, to now having a generation that wants to do the exact same thing that evil did 80 years ago. And they think it's fine. They think they're enlightened. They think they have a right to do that, to go out and attack Jewish students on college and university campuses. Just put a gold star on them. Why not? I mean, that's what they did back then, to identify them so that they could be separated out of society. See, if we don't start realizing that we're on a cyclical path here. You know, Adolf Hitler was pretty good chums with the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, who just happened to be Yasser Arafat's uncle, because they both wanted the same thing. They wanted the extermination of the Jewish people. They did not want to see a state of Israel ever to be created. That's what the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem wanted. He was happy to be simpatico with Adolf Hitler. And here we are today with young people in our streets supporting a terrorist organization that has as its goal the new final solution. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Free of what? And furthermore, you've heard me say it before, Palestine is a region, it's not a people, Rashida Tlaib. You're Arab. Anyone there after World War I who resided in that region had a passport that said Palestine. If you do your history and you do your research, you can find out where the word Palestine originated from. It has nothing to do with Arabs. But because we don't want to study, because we want to be trendy, because we want to be seen as cool, because I guess we want to be leftists, progressives, socialists, Marxists, who are the real Nazis? The people that stand up for the Constitution? I mean, that's what the left will say. I say that we have them walking amongst us right now, the people who, once again, want to eradicate, eliminate, and exterminate an entire race of people, just because that entire race of people exists. Now, what I'm talking about is we got to study and understand who we are. We have to study and understand that evil just kind of sometimes brushes the dust off itself, but it's still the same old evil. And that's what we're facing right now. So, in essence, I may be jumping into Normandy, into those drop zones. I won't have any of the weapons that they had, but I'm still in the same basic fight. The fight for individual liberty, freedom, the fight against tyranny, the fight against this xenophobic desire to eradicate an entire race of people. But if we don't do as my dad did with me, creating a sense of legacy and commitment in me because of what he had seen and how he had served, then this is what happens here in the United States of America. Alan West at the Steadfast and Loyal program. We'll be right back.
Before